hello. Hi. Hi, Alexandre.
Hey, Paolo.
How are
How good
you?
are you? I'm fine. Better now. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's the same from here. For those who don't know Alex, Alex Le Voci Sayad, you are a journalist, an educator, a consultant, an author. You have contributed to 20 books or so. You have done one specifically on artificial intelligence and critical thinking. You are also getting a PhD from Barcelona. You got already a master in AI. You are working a lot for UNESCO and other international organizations. You are on the EAVI Advisory Board as well. Thank you for that. You have lectured and taught in more than 20 countries and many different universities. So you are the right person to talk to about what we are going to talk about. What should we start with? You are mentioning about an elephant. Is I read about a metaphor. Is to let people understand what is AI.
Yeah,
What was the story?
yeah. No, I used this image of an elephant inside a porcelain or a porcelain or a store or a shop. Trying to move and breaking everything because sometimes we think about the ethical impacts of AI like a future thing, a thing that's going to happen in the future of the kids or our time and the future. But what I try to mean with that image is that the things it's already happening.
The
You know, the
elephant is already there.
yeah, it's already there, and the elephant is moving already. So we need actually to pay attention in this to try to avoid a destruction, a mass destruction. So that was the image. It was an article that I
Is
wrote.
yes, there is this image in Indian tradition about the elephant that is creating disruption in the village because it's as you say in your shop, is moving around. But once you control him or you collaborate with him, is super useful because he can help you doing things like AI in a way that we couldn't do it on our own. I mean, is the other image about the elephant is that sometimes you don't see the elephant, no?
Yeah.
But you are saying he's there and is moving around and is a bit in between this new world that we are, no? And the technology and the people as is how does this it influence this process, the communication?
Yes. Yeah, I think there are two things that we must pay attention, Paulo. The first one is that despite of the fact AI is impacting our life, the ethical, the society as a technology of general purpose. It's considered a technology of general purpose by a lot of academics. So, it's a structural technology. But at the same time, there are a lot of hype and misinformation about AI. So, what I try to do as an educator and a journalist is to, uh, using an Indian metaphor again, try to hold a stone to check it out the weight of this stone. Because if you don't feel the weight, it will never be late to understand what it is. So, AI is not that thing that media used to say because the public debate on AI is poor. It's poor nowadays. And this is the importance of EAVI, for example, and all the things that we do, because you bring the poor debate you enrich this poor debate for the people. This is very important.
Thank
So
you.
there is one thing that the public debate on AI is poor. And as people follow this, they ignore the real impact, which is not in front of our eyes. So I'm concerned as a media educator with AI more as AI as a mediation between people and the world, just bringing back McLuhan to the room. But more this than as a disruptive future with robots taking the lead of the humankind. This kind of thing doesn't bother me so much. What bothers me is the real impact that we have using AI as a mediation. Because when all our research and our practice of media literacy started, we started with radio and television. This is what tackled us a lot. The mass media. And nowadays, mass media is not what it was in the past. It shares this space with digital and algorithm media. So this is what concerns me. Is the real impact on the kids, in the youth, in the elderly that we have already feeling.
Is at most you could see is this kind of lack of awareness is also unfortunately with the policymakers that are supposed to debate about the rules that are necessary, and that they don't know exactly is what is this phenomenon is all about. Let me ask you: is one reflection that you could have in about we were discussing with other experts the other day about responsible AI. So the fact that in the end these humans beyond we are still in control, but this is often the big tech. Is it the wrong humans that are in control of that?
Yes. Look, behind the AI scenario, what do you have? You have a big business, a multimillionaire business, billionaire business, and you have a geopolitical power, a really strong geopolitical power. So, of course, we need to be aware of that. But on the other edge, we have us. It was the same thing when Horkheimer and Adorno start to think about television as something that is making the culture a product and delivering to everyone something that was at first was the prime, a very unique thing, and now it's reproduced to the mass. Yes, we had this critical. I take care to do not repeat this kind of idea, because I think we have already overpassed this. We have overcome this kind of critics. So the thing is, how can we keep our ethical values intact and make it guide the AI development? So if you say AI, we have the human beings behind AI, it's true. But at the same time, we need to make it true. We need to have policies that keep the humankind
I like that.
centered
To make it true, yeah.
To make it true, because it's not you don't take it for granted. You cannot take it for granted. I'm not sure about what the future will be. So what we need to do now is to make sure that the human being is the center of these technologies. And there are a lot of different processes and researches and ideas that are being developed in the academia mainly, and the civil society as well, that keep the humankind on the control and in the decision of the things. The last word and the ultimate word and decision needs to be done by a human. And this is one important thing. On the other hand, we don't have now, I'm talking about now, today, we don't have a technology that can overcome this. We don't have it ready, but we need to be prepared. If we have it, I don't know, 200 years from now, we need to be prepared in terms of public policies to keep the human basic values, the human rights, the kids' rights, the youth rights, the 1948 Human Declaration of the Civil Rights, and everything leading this process of developing technologies. And this is what we say since the first beginning of we develop mass technologies. We say need to respect the human being. And so we need to be in control of this. And so we need to make it true.
Which are the human values? What is it that for you is peculiar to a human that is not for a machine, so that will distinguish us from each other?
Yeah, this is a hard question, but I can say by now, consciousness is one thing that's exclusive to human. Yes. The second thing is, in my perception, in my understanding, creativity is one thing that's unique to human. The third thing is it's feeling, sensitiveness. It's something that's unique to human. Because when we talk about AI, we're talking about a probabilistic model.
I just tell you this metaphor, maybe it's coming from you, is about this probabilistic model to explain, and there was about what is AI, is imagine that you go to buy an ice cream, is to a shop, and you ask for strawberry and chocolate, and the following day you go and ask again for an ice cream, strawberry and chocolate. And if you do that for 3-4 days, is the next day you come to the shop and you are given is even without saying, is based on the data and no, collecting our pattern, is the shop will give us, having read, is an ice cream with chocolate and strawberry. Not because it's super intelligent, because it's probabilistic.
Probabilistic, yeah. We changed from a deterministic model to a probabilistic model. So in a deterministic model, the data that comes in is exactly the same the data that comes out. In a probabilistic model, you have random things. So the data that comes in will mix with a lot of data and it comes a different thing. What you say, what is very important, what you say, and this is what I studied in my master's, that if you follow this and you are right, you never have the chance to try a vanilla ice cream with a blueberry sauce. Because
love it.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need to break this this probabilistic model to try new things. So there is one thing, Paulo, that is that touched the provocation that you started, is the regulation. So what you mean, what I'm seeing, and this is a live experience, is a work in progress. I cannot say it's written in stone, but what I'm seeing in terms of regulations, that it's hard to regulate everything in the parliament. I mean, in the European Parliament, in the Brazilian Parliament, it's hard. You need to have a basic regulation and pay attention in governance rules of schools, in governance rules of companies, in governance rules of public administration. So create frameworks of governance that allows you to do that in this way, but do not allow you to do this in that way. So, for example, if we are delegating to a probabilistic model a research that we need to do in a deterministic way, we need to accurate a research. We need to do a research that is precise, the most precise possible. So if you use LLM to make a research, it's not going to be precise. It's a probabilistic model. You're going to take from probability. So it's not the right thing to do. How a university can create a governance that can, for example, that create rules for students, for professors, for administrators, that AI can be used for that in that sense, but not for this in this sense. So this is a way I think we should, because all the UK and in Europe mainly, they start to try to regulate everything from the perspective of the parliament, all the impacts, but it's a general purpose technology. It's something really big. The impacts are so vast. You never get there regulating everything from the top. You need to make a general regulator that can guarantee human rights and human-centered technology. And then as soon as you go to other layers, you create governance, structures of governance that can allow you to do that or this and educate you. That to
Is
be a governance that educates you.
thank you for that. And we go to education and schools because you have a lot of experience there. And I mean, the teachers that we have around is, as you say, nobody knows much about or is aware about the consequences of AI, including teachers. And the students, they suffer the consequences, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Look, when I think about schools, Paulo, I think about media literacy and media education. Yes, in one point. So when we think about AI literacy or something like this, I think it's always underneath this umbrella of media literacy and media education, because otherwise you're going to create a lot of different words and it's going to be more complicated. So I talk about media literacy or media education.
We thought, yeah.
Yeah, we talk. So, but at the same time, we need to train teachers. We need to expand the teachers' training for this, because for everyone it's hard to catch up. Listen, I decided to make a master's in 2019 because I like to know better, and I was feeling that I wasn't getting enough from my daily life and as an educator. So it's hard to and we need to understand this new mediation, and teachers need to learn as well. But at the same time, what I'm trying to develop in my PhD is a governance for a school where all the stakeholders, students, teachers, and administrators, they can sit together and create a framework that opens space for innovation and creativity, but at the same time, create restrictions for using this. So it's a framework that will mix media literacy in one hand, and on the other hand, AI governance, which is a very hot topic that you can find. Even UNESCO is researching on that. So AI governance and media literacy, two frameworks that can merge toward a school and be discussed and keep it alive among the community itself. I think it's a duty for the community. It's not a law. So this is a way that you learn. At the same time, you have restrictions. For example, we learn through media literacy how television works, how is the mediation. At the same time, I was not allowed to watch the films in the TV that was, for example, when I was a kid, after 10 o'clock at night. Because there were a lot of sex scenes and drug scenes and this kind of thing, and I was not ready for that. So my parents didn't allow me to watch that. But I, at the same time, was learning about what television is. I was learning through Sesame Street some things, to cartoons some things, and then I start to watch the news on TV and understand that the news are not neutral. The news comes with biases and everything. So this is a process of learning, lifelong learning. Yeah. At the same thing, I think AI should follow the same step. You need guardrails for the kids and the youth. You need guardrails within the tools.
At the moment, they are not there. There are issues about age verification, and no, is that they are immersed in an environment that is built for adults with all, and even more, is that their vulnerabilities are exploited. So it should follow the path that you say, but it's a bit unrealistic, isn't it? I really like the idea of putting together a community and to discuss what to do and how. What students, if they don't find enough schools, what should they learn? How, I mean, should they, I don't know, what are you saying to your children?
Good. Always good to start at home. The first thing I did, and I'm very proud of it, is to teach them how it works. To demystify it's something magic or something mystical. So I really sat with them in the table, and I in a very rough way, very rustic way, I draw how an AI system works. And so I showed them how.
How old are your kids?
I have one 8 years old, and the other is 13 years old.
Okay.
Probably it was like 2 years ago I started with this,
Okay.
with both. So I tried to teach them how inaccurate it could be, how imprecise it could be, because it works like this. This is the thing. It's inaccurate, it's imprecise, because it works like this. So this is the first step. And this is what I call, you need to teach about AI. About AI, how it works. Yeah. The second thing, this is it's a very iconic, as an example you gave, Paolo, some minutes ago. They have a lot of filters and a lot of blocks to watch things on YouTube, for example. They don't have mobile, and they watch it on the television, and they have blocks. They can watch only YouTube Kids with a lot of filters, and I'm always following them. But at the same time, I try to teach them how that algorithm works, the YouTube algorithm works, and how they need to deal with. For example, I don't let them watch reels or short videos because they know it's random. And in the middle of the thing, because it's inaccurate, it can come something appropriated for their age. So this is what I call teach for AI. So teach about AI is the first example. Teach for AI.
They are very privileged kids to have you
Yeah,
as a parent.
no, I don't think so. I'm pity of them. And the third thing, Paolo, it's only with the older one, because he's starting to research at school using digital tools. It's how to work with AI. So AI can be your partner to do things, but not for everything. Not to write for you, not to create for you, but it can help you to translate things, to index things. And with the proper tools, can help you to research, but with your guidance. With your guidance. So this is what I call educate with AI. So about, for, and with. It's a very comprehensive thing that I think it's important for parents and for schools. It's a basic thing we can do. It's the basic thing you can do. And at least they have the taste and the flavor, what they are dealing with.
I love this, and I think it could be people could be inspired by these three things that you mentioned about learning about AI, for AI, and with in EAVI what should be done, and this is in the end is no, like you say, is I mean, kind of common sense is not nothing that is very abstract.
Is media literacy in its essence.
Exactly. That's what it is. But thank you very much for your time and your reflections. And I think, you are inspiring, hopefully, all our audience. And this, it's easy through metaphors and example and to pick up something from you. So thank you for that.
No, I thank you. It was my pleasure. For me, it's a pleasure to talk to you always, Paulo.
Thank you, Alex.
I thank you. Prego.
Bye.